Came here as a 23-year-old kid wanting to open up a pizza place. Are you sure you want to do that? I didn't need negativity. We went on to set a Guinness World Record.
Service over self. There's a t-shirt somewhere there, Bob. We're getting somewhere here. Stop just sitting around, man. Let's make this city something. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 9 to Grind, a podcast where we unveil the incredible journeys of trailblazers who are transforming our communities. Today we have a true dynamo with us, a civil leader, a thriving entrepreneur, and a passionate automobile enthusiast. He's been a driving force on his city planning commission, led the Rotary Club and Chamber of Commerce, served as a dedicated Little League coach, contributed as a part of his city's treasury committee, and ran a record-breaking pizza franchise for over 30 years, and had the thrill of driving prototype Corvettes at the Chevrolet Driving Elite School. Please give a warm welcome to our guest today, Bob.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm very excited to be here.
Let's kick things off with your civil journey. What ignited your passion with getting involved in your city's planning commission?
Okay, by the time I got started with the planning commission, I had already realized I've lived here longer than any other place. This was my home. Maybe I could make a difference. Maybe I could be part of the community. It was just another way to be part of the city. And there was really no one big project. The Planning Commission is a step below City Hall. We're kind of like the hall monitors from your high school, or maybe the HOA of the whole city.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to make different from when I first came here, I came here as a 23-year-old kid wanting to open up a pizza place, and I was told, we already have 6 pizza places. Are you sure you want to do that? I didn't need negativity. I knew what I was doing. I wanted to be positive. So by the time it rolled around, I was over 40 by this time. I really hadn't done much other than operate the pizza place. Of course, now I had a wife and 2 kids. I was doing the family thing. Felt great with that, but I was really getting bored with Domino's. So when I joined the Planning Commission, I wanted it to be business friendly.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to say yes to every business that came in.
Yeah. No more negativity.
That's right. No more negativity. Everybody love everybody.
Hell yes.
So, I think the biggest thing that I helped approve. Now remember, we are below city council, so we don't get the big projects.
Right.
But the biggest one that I helped approve was a cell tower. In the shape of a water tower, an old water
For the cell phone towers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we approved that. Now we had another option of a 1.5 mile tall cell tower.
Oh wow.
And we talked to this company and we said, why would anybody want 1.5 miles? Well, it would set a world record. This would be the world's tallest cell tower. Cell tower. Actually, they said it would be the second tallest. We said the second tallest cell tower. What happened to the first one? They said, well, it fell over. So we said,
oh wow.
Well, no thanks. We don't want your 1.5 mile tall cell tower.
It can fall on us.
We're going to go with the company that's going to build us a water tower. We preferred an oil derrick. They couldn't quite get the design down. I mean, you could draw a water derrick, but having it look like a water derrick and also function as a cell tower didn't work. But they showed us this idea that they had a concept they had for a water tower, and we said, we'll do that.
Instead, okay, I like that.
And you can see it in the middle of town, and it looks like a water tower, and I feel good about it because I asked, at first I said no, and then I asked my family and friends and other citizens of the community. The majority said yes. I was convinced. Cool. Let's do it.
So you brought the community together to decide on this project.
Yes.
Everyone kind of had their input on it. I like that.
Yes, and it was very controversial. A couple of us said no, and the others said yes. So we went to work in the community, asking the community, getting there. I mean, this was going to be a community. You will see it when you drive around town. You will see this
That's
thing.
something that you're gonna see no matter
and
what.
We wanted to be proud of it, and so we think we made the right decision, and we approved it.
Nice. I like that. I want to follow up on how give me a story as to how you got people to come together in the community.
We emailed everybody that we knew, and we just spoke openly about it to everybody that we knew.
Okay.
What do you think? This is going to impact everybody. You will see this driving through Taft. Visitors will see this.
Right.
Do you think this is too old school? Do you think it's the way to go? What do you think?
Yeah.
And
No, I like that.
overwhelmingly, more than a 60-40 split wanted to do this cell tower.
What were the toughest challenges you came across balancing community needs with said goals?
Yeah, good question. That one was tough to work with. When you go online and you look up the city of Taft, you find out that it's only about 6,500 people.
Okay.
Nobody wants to come here.
Okay.
It's not a thriving community.
Oh, I get you.
Even when I first discovered Taft, I said, something's not right. It's got a junior college. It's got a nationally ranked football team. It's got a dorm system for 6,500 people. And so I flew out here with a buddy, and we looked the place over. It's like, no, there's more than that. And so when I got involved with going to City Hall and Chamber of Commerce, that's when they told me, well, no, Taft is actually made up of 4 communities. The city of Taft, and then there's Taft Heights, South Taft, and Ford City. Together, that makes around 18 to 20,000 people. I was like, oh.
That makes sense now.
The biggest challenge is trying to convey that to other businesses that want to come here. How do you draw in another business from outside the community that knows nothing about Taft, and they go online and they say, well, you only got 6,000 people there. We're not opening up business XYZ. You only have 6,000 people. No, we have almost 20,000 people. Put the 4 together, now you've got the correct size of Taft.
Right.
And then there's some outlying areas, and so you have a market area of almost 25,000 people.
Right. Okay. So now it's worth investing some looking at.
Right. So now we have to find the right people that want to come in for a town the size of about 25,000 people.
In your view, how can cities organize local planning like this?
I think if you flip that around and put it on the citizen, I reflect upon what John F. Kennedy had to say. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Yes.
So just substitute that for the word city. Don't ask what your city can do for you. What can you do for your city?
Yeah.
And that gets you involved, whether it's on a personal level or a business level. Don't just sit back and watch the city develop for you.
Exactly.
Help the city develop for everybody.
Yes. I love that. We're getting somewhere here. Stop just sitting around, man. Let's make this city something. Now let's switch gears into your leadership roles. You've been president of both the Rotary Club and Chamber of Commerce, and you coached Little League. What leadership lessons did you discover in playing these roles to call them big eye-openers?
Yeah, good questions. I found out that one of the best words that I could throw out there is delegate. Delegate responsibility, and don't sink the ship.
Yes.
I mean, I was now becoming president of the Rotary Club and the Chamber of Commerce. These entities have been around for decades. All I got to do is steer the boat straight and don't sink it.
Don't hit a berg.
Don't hit a berg, no. And let the people help that want to help. There are people out there that will help you, and they want to help. Let them help. And please, God, don't let me sink this ship. We had a saying in the pizza industry: put your aces in their places.
Okay.
So you want the best person in the right spot.
Right.
Again, being a leader doesn't necessarily mean doing it yourself, but finding that right person for it.
How did these experiences shape the way you look at community, the way you look at your businesses?
Rotary taught me something very simple: service above self. It was that easy. Once I had that concept, service above self, what can I do? Let me help.
Service over self. There's a T-shirt somewhere there, Bob. Is there a particular accomplishment that fills you with pride?
Yes. With the Rotary Club, I actually introduced a program we call Dictionaries for Third Graders.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we provide dictionaries to all the third graders on the west side here. And we found out that was one of the first books that was introduced to them that they actually got to keep. So we've been doing that now solidly every year for 19 years, coming up on 20 years.
Wow, I like
We
that.
provide dictionaries to all the third graders.
Now, similar question, but in the Little League field.
Yeah, with the Little League, I was also treasurer for about 5 years. My son had gone through the Little League system and was out, but I stayed on. With my business background, looking at the financials of Little League, I noticed, well, we could cut back here, we could cut back there. Maybe we could look at this as another revenue avenue. And we noticed that we didn't have batting cages. So I was instrumental in helping us get batting cages built for the kids here in town.
Wow, that's good.
As a treasurer, I was able to find opportunities for revenue flow to get us these batting cages, and they're still operating today.
Now, the majority around here know you as the thriving entrepreneur who dominated the pizza industry here in town. I mean, wow.
Yeah, we were open for almost 30 years before I finally sold. Domino's has been a part of my life for a long time. I got started at the age of 19 and then sold when I was 53.
Now, 30 years in the same. How did you, let's say, how did you manage? That's like, okay, having a business of that size, in my opinion, I had a business. It's like having another family.
Well, my wife was great. She was able to work there also. She would work there.
Okay.
I would be off. I would work there. She would be off. We tried to work when the kids were in school. And so, you know, we family always came first. The way I developed it to become number one in Taft was I picked it up from Julius Caesar. Me and him were tight.
Okay.
Julius Caesar. He said, it's better to be first in a village than second in Rome.
That's so
Now, with success, you sometimes you're going to stare failure right in the eyes. I tried to go into Bakersfield. I tried to get into that market, and I failed. The company had made it clear they wanted only one person in Bakersfield. They wanted one person to dominate that roam. When I got into Bakersfield, I bought a store. I was the third person to roam. That didn't work out too well. So I saw my failure also. So I looked deep into it. We sold the store in Bakersfield, concentrated on Taft. It's better to be first in a village than second in Rome.
When it came to the market in Bakersfield, talk to me a bit about the failure in Bakersfield.
You're going to make me talk about my failures, huh?
A little bit, just a little bit. And just the one, because
Yeah.
it has a lot of learning behind it. It has a lot of lessons.
Yes, know your competitor. Know who you're up against. Like I said, I didn't realize, I had not discovered yet the saying from the great Julius Caesar. It wasn't until afterwards that I realized I wasn't second in Rome. I was third in Rome.
Wow,
I was
yeah.
third in Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Corporate wanted only one person to operate all of Bakersfield. I was the little guy. One guy owned 3 franchises. Another one owned 3 or 4. I owned 1. Who do you think they're going to pick on?
Yeah.
Who's going to get squished out of that pie? I loved working for Domino's Pizza. I really let me say I enjoyed working for Domino's Pizza.
You shattered several pizza records. Can you take us on that journey a little bit?
Yeah, buckle up for this one. All right, so having dealt with a failure and coming back to be first in my village, we went on to set a Guinness World Record.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Now, a lot of that credit goes to my wife. She had told me about when she was a little girl in 1975, another gentleman by the name of Leonard Gentoo owned a sandwich shop here in town and set out to set the Guinness World Record for the world's largest sandwich.
Oh, nice.
He did almost 500-foot sandwich, and they cut it up into little sections and paraded it downtown during an event called Oil Dorado. Now, every city has an anniversary or a birthday that they celebrate. Taft celebrates theirs every 5 years. And so in 1975, he set the world record for the world's largest sandwich. So as Oil Dorado would come around, as every 5 years come around, my wife would say, Bob, you need to do something. Oil Dorado's coming up. What are you going to do? And it's like, what am I going to what do I do? She goes, it doesn't matter what you do. This town will support you. And I said, yeah, but I need something. Give me something. She goes, it doesn't matter. Just come up with something. So we'd see Eldorado would come, Eldorado 1990, Eldorado 95, Eldorado 2000. She says, you've got to do something if you know. So I got to looking at, there's an old rodeo place outside of Taft, and I got to looking at it, and I went out and measured it, and it's got bleachers that surround it. It's got a ticket booth with a walkway. If I could figure out how to make pizzas in that rodeo arena, that would be the world's largest pizza. But I could not figure out how to get heat out there.
Oh, damn.
Plus, I contacted the health department in Bakersfield, and they were giving me a hard time. They didn't really want me cooking outdoors, and so it was like, oh, that didn't pan out.
Right.
So I went online, and I found out there's probably half a dozen different pizza places claiming they had the world record for making the most pizzas. But this one said they made the most 10-inch pizzas. This one said they made the most 16-inch pizzas. This one had the most 24-inch pizzas.
Whoa, okay.
There was no standard, and they were all claiming that they had a world record. So my wife says, you know, Bob, we're up to the year 2010 now. 2010 was going to be the 100th anniversary of Taft.
Oh, wow.
50th anniversary of Domino's. I had been open up 25 years. The Mayan calendar aligned just right. She says, Bob, if you're going to do it, you got to do it this year.
Now's the time.
Now is the time, because if you miss it, it ain't going to happen again.
Yeah.
So I did that. I contacted Guinness out of New York City, and I said, would you work with me on this? Let's establish a baseline. And they wrote back, I like it.
Yeah, hell
And
yeah.
I said, okay. So what do you got? And Guinness said, all right, do 5,000 12-inch pizzas with 2 toppings. You can say you've got the Guinness World Record.
5,000
12-inch pizzas
with 2 toppings.
with 2 toppings.
Okay. Is that something
And-
that
and-
hadn't...
And if you did if you do the math, pi r squared, you multiply that out, that would cover more area, more surface area of pizza than any of the other pizza places claim.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So they wanted to standardize it, and that's what I wanted. And I said, I could do this. So we started brainstorming, trying to figure out what to do. And so I would talk to my friends, I'd talk to my employees, talk to my family. My daughter came up with the brilliant idea. She said, Dad, you need some Willy Wonka golden tickets. I said, I like the idea. What are you thinking? And she said, sell them ahead of time. She goes, that way you know how many you're going to make. And when they come down to the store, they don't have to wait in line. And I said, what do you mean wait in line? People aren't going to be waiting in line. And she said, Mom, tell him. And my wife says, Bob, people will wait in line just to be a part of this. So I say, okay, perfect. All right, we'll do the golden ticket. What else we got? And my son said, Dad, you need a big pizza bag. So I take one of our pizza delivery bags to an upholstery shop here in Taft. And I told the guy, his name was Adam. I said, I need one of these made. And he goes, sure, I can make these. You want it the same size? I said, no, I need a bigger one. He goes, sure, how big? I said, it has to fit in the back of my truck.
Whoa.
And he looked at me and he goes, Eldorado, huh?
He knew it was coming too.
He knew.
Yeah.
He knew. The only reason for something that outrageous was because of Eldorado.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, exactly. It is the world's largest pizza delivery bag.
So you fit, and what was the number again? You fit
215, something like that.
Oh my gosh.
So the day of the event, we had to have synchronized stopwatches. They had to be locked in the safe. There was an exact starting time. It had to be exactly 24 hours. We had to have the guy from Guinness World Records there on site. We had to put him up in a hotel. We had to feed him. I told him, I hope you like pizza.
We're having pizzas.
I felt good about it. We pre-sold 3,000 golden tickets.
Wow.
So I felt pretty good going into the event. And sure enough, people stood in line out the door for 2 hours just to come in to say they bought one.
Wow.
So we just started cranking out pizzas. Ran 3 shifts with about 30 people on each shift.
Wow.
So everybody worked 8 hours. We had 3 8-hour shifts, 24 hours.
24 hours covered. You had 90 people on this job.
Probably close to 100.
Wow. To deliver, what was the number again?
6,838 total. But who's counting, right?
Wow, these guys are these guys. Wow, man. And see, here's a small touch I want to put on leadership, right? I'm bringing this all back to leadership. Bob, no matter how we slice and dice this, 100 people, 90 people, the wife, the kids, you. This is a group effort. If you
This was a community effort.
Yeah,
yes.
if you split hairs, this is a whole community.
Yes.
Came together to be a part of this book.
Yes.
No ifs, ands, or buts put in place. But you had an entire community behind you making sure this went through. 6,000 plus whatever. It's a lot of damn pizzas.
So during the El Dorado event, or it may even have been 5 years later, a lot of it is a blur to me, guys. Because
I bet.
I was on site the whole time, a couple of hours beforehand, a couple of hours afterwards. I eventually met Leonard.
But hey, what you think about my pizzas, though, huh?
Yeah.
Nice sandwich and all. But check out my pizzas.
Great time doing it, but it's something I would never do again.
Just for the one time.
That one
Just
time.
for the record.
It's a one-off.
It's a one-off.
So we accomplished the record October in 2010, but the 2010 book had already been published and was in stores.
No.
The 2011 was already going to print. So the 2012 was actually a special one. It even says bursting with amazing new record. So they already had, Guinness already had that in mind of the special edition of the book with new records. And we were a new record. They had never recognized most pizzas in 24 hours.
How did you adapt in 30 years of being there? The new technology coming in.
Well, what I noticed, what formula works best is to start off your new business by keeping it simple.
Okay.
Domino's had, in the early days, 2 sizes of pizza and free sodas.
Free sodas.
Free sodas.
What?
You got 2 with a small and 4 with a large.
Okay.
And then just 2 sizes of pizza. And that was it. And that menu worked for them for almost 3 decades. So
Right.
start simple.
Right.
And then add on. Now, what do you add on to your menu? Study your competitor.
Right.
The number 2 item they sold was salads.
Salads.
So that's the next
Of all
thing that
things.
we added. Now you've got pizza places out there selling pizzas and salads. And then after a few years, what was the next item that they brought out? Chicken wings.
Right.
So
Hell
now
yes.
we got Domino's selling pizzas, salads, chicken wings. So watch your competitor. The idea is, sure, in capitalism, you want to eliminate your competitor, but that's not really the goal. You want to do it better than your competitor. That's your goal.
Keep up the competition. Okay, I like
Keep
that.
up the competition.
In 30 years, I don't know if Domino's allows it or not. I'm imagining if I was a Domino's franchise guy, if I'm 10 years in and they got 2 pizzas, they got 2 sizes, the works, the this, to that, I'd be like, hey, Domino's, any chance I can invent my own pizza? You know, throw it out there at the menu. Would they let you do stuff like that?
No, and I
okay.
tried. And actually, the salad thing, I asked them about introducing a salad. I was doing my research. They sent me a letter back saying, no, this is not the right time for salads. It's like,
Gotcha.
not the right time? What's the right time? 6 months later, apparently it turned out to be the right time
Sell
for
salads.
salads. It's like,
Sell
wow.
salads, yeah.
Wow, okay.
So you have to pitch it to them. They kind of run it through their scope and then send you back an info.
They are in charge of menu. They are in charge of image, and they let you know that.
Okay, gotcha.
It is their ideas that are going to come forward.
Gotcha. So if, for instance, in 30 years, you come up with the carne asada pizza concept, you have to run it by them first.
I can put it. What they wanted to see was put it on paper,
Right.
show your cost analysis, but you better not make one.
Not a single one through the store till we give you the approval.
Right now, my wife and I use the store as our own kitchen, so
That's what I'm thinking.
we
I spent
made-
so much time there. I'm going to invent a pizza.
we made lots of stuff down there that still hasn't come on board to the national menu that we know would work.
Gotcha. And see, that's where I'm thinking, because of the local touch that you guys have with Taft, what if in Taft there's like a big community fan base of pork, carnitas pizza or something of that nature?
You don't know how close to reality you are with that one.
Okay.
Actually, the pizza that people were throwing around out there, the franchisees were throwing around, and we were faxing to each other secretly, was a taco pizza.
A taco pizza. Oh my God, yes.
And then when corporate found out about it,
They were like, hell no.
we all got cease and desist letters.
Oh, holy shit. We got in big trouble.
Yeah, we had to stop immediately.
Now, I have a let's say a controversial question here. Not that I would do this to Domino's or nothing. But if I had a Domino's franchise, if I had a McDonald's franchise, any kind of a gig, you run this idea by them. They say negative, Ghost Rider. You can't do this. Cool. No problem. We won't do it. But the missus has this location over here. She's thinking of opening up a pizza place herself. She's going to call it the Queen's Pizza. Can she make her kind of style of pizza there? Or is she not allowed to because she's, married to the franchise?
Oh, certainly. Now, she could not take, all right, let's say if I became disenfranchised
Okay.
from Domino's.
Got it.
And I wanted to branch out on my own. I could not take any of the sign image, or the biggest thing is I couldn't take the phone number with me.
The phone number?
The phone number belonged to Domino's, actually. And so eventually when I sold, at first I thought, well, I'm just going to open up another pizza place. And then I thought about it. It was like, no, because I know what's going to happen. People are going to come in and they're going to say, hey, Bob, remember when you hit that world record? Yes, I remember. They said, well, you going to do that again? No, I'm not going to do that again. I did not want to be constantly compared to my best. That was my best. That was it, guys. So I read about former rock stars, former actors. What did they do? And the key element was reinvent yourself.
Reinvent yourself. Did your community leadership and coaching experiences have anything to do with your business strategy?
Oh, certainly. They were interlocked.
Okay.
One was the other. By helping my community, it would help my business. By providing my business to the community, we were helping each other. If the school kids were out on Arbor Day planting trees, we were donating pizzas. When the fireworks booths opened up for July 4th, we were there donating pizzas.
Okay.
At the voting polls, we were donating pizzas. Anything like that, we were donating pizzas.
I like that.
Even during the world record, we told the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, any nonprofit organization, come in, as many pizzas as you can carry, you can have. So if you interlock your business with your community, they are one.
That's where it thrives, huh?
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense, too. Yeah. And now, let's dive into something completely different. We're changing gears. Corvettes. You were part of the Corvette driving school, the 2020. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Yeah, the 2020 Corvette became the first mid-engine car for Corvette. So we were driving, you could call them prototypes or pre-production models, and we had them on closed-circuit tracks, so we could take them up to whatever speed we could. There were straightaways, there was turns and all. And looking back, it was like, they were telling us to push it to see what it would do. Not so much for personal enjoyment, but to see what was going to fall off or break from these cars.
The guinea pigs of
We were the guinea pigs. Great time out there. Now, they put us up in Las Vegas the night before. Nice. And then drove us out to the track. They did not tell us until we got there that we had to do a breathalyzer.
Oh, they wanted to make... Whoa.
It's like, you put us in Vegas the night before.
How are we going to pass this?
And now we got to pass a breathalyzer in the morning. They said, or you're not going on the track.
Dang.
So one of the guys did not pass. He blew more than a .08.
So is that from the previous night, or that he was drinking that morning?
Probably.
Probably.
So. The track speed record was 140 miles an hour. I got my cars up to 120.
You should have broken that record too, Bob.
I tried. I tried. A lot of the guys could break 100. They couldn't get up to 120. And so as you're going down the straightaway, you've got a hard bank to turn to the right. They had numbers on the side 3, 2, 1 for your braking. And the guys, they were all braking at 3. Some of them would brake at 2. And they said, Bob, where were you braking? I said, I wasn't.
-1.
Yeah.
On the other side of the spectrum.
I was full throttle, let off the gas, throw it to the right.
Got the turn, huh?
At the turn, and trying to get up to the speed. The car would not go with the safety features on. We had already learned that the car will not go into a spin.
It won't spin.
Even on a wet pavement, the car will not spin. It cuts the throttle, cuts the steering, applies the brakes where necessary. Now
when you're making the turn,
now
okay.
you can take these safety features off and go out and do donuts all you want. But with the safety features on, it won't break.
It won't spin.
It will not put you into a spin.
How did you land such an exclusive position? Again, for the viewers, do you apply? You go online? How do you get one of these spots?
The owner at the dealership came to me one day and asked me if I wanted to participate in this.
Wow! Right place. Right time
right
type
place
of.
at the right time. Of course, he did a follow-up question, too. couple of months later, I saw him in the hallway, and he said, "Hey Bob, how did it work out for you with the Corvette school?" I said, "Oh, sir, it was great. It was fantastic. I learned so much about the car, but I think you may need to send me back for a refresher course."
You've worn lots of hats. For example, me, I have my truck driver hat, and let's just say my car selling hat. You've been a civil leader, little league coach, and a test driver. You've owned your own businesses. What values or principles have been your guiding light throughout all of these roles that you've had?
I thank God for the experiences I've had, and to sum it up simply, like your job, love your family.
Oh, I love that. That's another t-shirt in itself right there, Bob. I like that. So it's love what you do. If you're going to be the janitor, fall in love with that job so that when you perform that job, you perform that job at its highest level. For someone eager to make a lasting impact, what advice would you share?
Something I learned from a tennis player from the 1970s, 1980s, Arthur Ashe. He stated that success is a journey and not a destination.
It's the journey, not the destination.
Right. So you don't have an end point. You continue your journey of success.
Yeah.
You may, like I said, you may end up staring failure in the eyes one day, but it's just part of the journey.
It's not the finish line.
It's not the finish line. You keep going.
Hey, Bob, we didn't really touch too much on the Little League stuff. Anything before we leave? Anything that sticks out in the Little League venture of your life?
Yeah, let me share another story. Parents need to chill out there.
Yeah, on the field, huh?
They take it way too serious. Let the kids have fun. It's just a game. It's called a game for a reason. Let them play the game. And we came across a situation, a parent asked us, "Hey, in my kid's Little League game, the umpire is telling certain kids when to swing at the ball and when not to swing at the ball. Is this right? Can you make him stop?" And we thought about it, and I brought it up at our board meeting, and they said, "Oh, that's a good question. Should he be telling the kid to swing or not to swing?" So I took the question online. These are little kids, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, and immediately the haters came out. "Oh, let me guess. Your son is on the opposite team. You're tired of the umpire." It's like, no. This has nothing to do with my son. My son is out. I'm asking a legitimate question. What should we do in this? And just hate after hate after hate. A Little League umpire wrote back and said, although not in the rules, he goes, "What's the problem?
They're 8-year-olds.
They're 8 years
Yeah.
old. Somebody, you're coaching them from the side. If the umpire feels need to coach, he says, I have a feeling he's not doing it for just one side. Is he doing it for both? Yes, he's doing it for both sides."
Probably,
he goes,
right, yeah.
He's just helping them out.
To know when to swing. The game is another practice day for
Yeah.
an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you didn't just learn everything in 2 days, and now here's Saturday, let me play my butt off. No, you're still going to be learning. I think it's still a learning process to where, as I remember me taking my son to Little League, my father would get crazy when he scored a goal, but the kid isn't even that excited. He doesn't even know what he did. That's still a practice game for maybe this baby turning into a professional player. That's where it matters, I guess.
The parents were way too into it. So we actually, because of that, we came up with a new policy in Little League that if you're a parent and you're going to complain about an action on the field, you have to tell us what rule it's violating.
Period. Yeah, exactly. Oh, hell, that makes sense.
So
yeah,
if you don't know the rule that it's violating, don't talk to us.
Yeah, so don't just come up here and bitch and whine. Actually,
right. Tell us what rule is being violated in the Little League handbook.
Gotcha. Ooh, that's a good one, Bob. Bob, it's been an absolute thrill hearing all your stories from City Hall to the pizza oven to the Little Leagues to the racetrack. Thank you so much for joining us today, bro. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's been fantastic to reflect and share some of the journey. Tina, Ray, Max, Tanner, if you're listening, love you guys.
And thank you guys for following us. If you guys are still here, soon we'll be having more thriving stories like the one we just had here today, more into other careers. So please hit subscribe, like, share. All that means a lot. Thanks a lot, you guys. Appreciate it.